Well, hello there, amazing minds. If you're new here, for the last decade, I've been trying out different exercises, tools, and tricks how to stop overthinking everything. And by doing these exercises, I've managed to change my habit of overthinking, which had a profound positive effect on my life. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it too. And it may not be as hard as you think it is. In this video, I'll be covering the first step you can take to stop overthinking, why this is important, and this week's challenge. So this is the first week of my weekly challenge that I will be doing with you because, as I mentioned in my last video, I made the mistake so many times quitting the exercises, which more often than not leads to my overthinking patterns showing up in my life again. So the very first step we can take to stop overthinking is to become aware. Otherwise, how can we change this habit? Let's jump into the first exercise, how to become aware. I'm overthinking the conversation I had with my friend. I'm overthinking what my client think of me. I'm overthinking what I'm going to say on the meeting. The goal with this exercise is to sort of manage to shorten the time from when you are doing it to when you catch yourself. So every time you are overthinking, the time until you realize, you catch yourself that you are doing it, that window will get smaller and smaller. When you've been practicing this exercise for a while, you will notice this. You will notice how you, catch yourself, and then you will be able to cut it off a lot easier because you have gained the skill to become more aware of when you're engaging in it. In the beginning, when I started to practice this exercise, I had to do this like 100 times a day. I'm not kidding, like 100 times a day. After I repeated this exercise many times, it started to get a lot easier for me to just cut it off. And this is like telling your mind that, hey, I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. I notice it. And now I will just cut it off. I wanted to talk a little bit about why is it so important to let your issues flow out of your head and onto the page. Never overthink in your head. This is a rule that I go by. When I started to read studies and look at research about this, I was blown away because it's so simple. It doesn't require any time. Anyone can do it, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It turns out that writing with your hand, not on the computer or your phone, improves brain connectivity and support emotional health. So writing helps people process emotional ups and downs, and this is very important for us. It's linked to increased learning and memory. And since we want to learn a new skill, that is, change the habit of overthinking. So this is gold. The challenge for this week is to do this exercise as much as you can. Like every time you catch yourself overthinking, write it down and say it out loud. Like tell your mind that you're onto it. You know what's going on and you are learning to become aware of when you are overthinking. And what I said about the window, it's very important to make it smaller and smaller, because from the moment we are overthinking to when we start to go down the rabbit hole of, well, whatever it is, if your mind is clouded with what ifs, or you are ruminating about the past conversations, whatever it is, when you pass a certain limit, like when you are in the loop, it's much harder for you to cut it off. So the goal is to make it shorter and shorter every time you are overthinking. I hope you will find this exercise helpful. And if you feel like overthinking gets in the way of what you want in life, you are in the right place. Next week, we will continue with our challenge, and I will cover another exercise that will help you become even more aware. So stay tuned. Ciao.